In today's episode of two monotone guys talk to each other about a car.
HoonTV! Blah, blah,
Yes.
blah.
All right, you've seen this car before. It's been around for a while. Jason bought it as a boring, basic stock Mustang. It's back again. I'm here, Tuff Mounts, this bloke with a beard. He's going to show me what he's done to it, and it's been a bit done.
We've done a little bit. We washed it.
A little bit, yeah.
We cleaned it.
Yeah, well, let's cut this here, and we'll head back and have a look and see all the changes that happened to the car, because Drag Challenge is coming, and some just called my phone. We didn't have that fancy rocker cover before.
No, this is a bit of special. It's a bit of gold, literally.
What's going on? I know it's got a new engine in it, but what's the combo now, and what have you changed?
So this time round, it's a built motor. It's nothing super special, but it's just nicer. The engine, well, the long engine is the motor out of the Street Machine magazine's Carnage MX-5. So this is that engine. So we bought it from the Street Machine guys when they'd retired that car. We then sent it to Frank at Dandy's and essentially just got them to go through it, just check it all out, make sure everything was fine. We ended up having the head ported, some in-canal valves put into it, just gone through some new springs, set of cams, just to make it all a bit better. Otherwise, it's the same engine. So it's nothing crazy, it's just rods and pistons at the end of the day.
Yep. Put
a horsepower junkie pump into it, good timing chain and all your normal sort of Barra stuff.
Yep, so inlet and exhaust though, is that the same manifold as before?
Yep, same intake manifold.
Yep.
The guys at MPW built us a new Pro Mod turbo manifold for it, and obviously it's a slightly larger turbo.
What is the turbo now?
It's Pulsar G50s, which I think, 88, 94, I think it is, yeah.
And obviously you've just had it on the dyno. What sort of power is it making now, and what are you hoping?
So it made 1330, something like that at the tyres, and horsepower. So just under 1,000 kilowatts, or just under megawatt. There you go, just under that.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was at like 33, 34 pound or something. So we weren't even turning it hard. It was literally where we needed to be to get used to the car, get it running, get the shakedowns done. Once we've sort of done Drag Challenge, we'll probably spend a bit more time on it, and we'll sort of want that 1500 of the tyres, which will be adequate.
Let's have a look at the interior, because it definitely hasn't got the 80s businessman.
No, we've got rid of that. It was cool as it was. So this time we've gone a bit more functional and a bit, bit more up spec. We've approached the guys here in Adelaide at Velo, who make obviously Velo seats here in South Australia. So Claude Carafano, good old Adelaide boy who now lives in Melbourne. He's done the interior in the car, just to sort of my spec. So all this colour segues, all sort of Aston, very Euro sort of supercar sort of exotic manufacturer sort of colours, which is just nice. So
it's definitely a complete different look.
Yes, it's just a bit more, I don't know, cleaner, it's nicer. A bit more expensive looking.
Now you've got the fancy schmancy Motion Raceworks steering wheel now.
Yeah, so quick release steering wheel, which just helps get in and out of the car. Because it's left-hand drive, it's very awkward.
Yep.
We're all used to getting in right-hand side, so this is awkward. We've got the Motion Raceworks CO2 shifter as well. So the computer looks after all the gear shifting. Steering wheel's got all your buttons to operate it. We've got nitrous in the back, CO2 bottle in the back, and obviously fire extinguisher bottle down there as well.
Yep, and obviously we'll get to what you've done underneath in the back, but cage-wise, is the cage all new, or have you just
from the B-pillar forward, it's the original cage, but from there backwards, it's all new. So we've put a few extra bars in from the B-pillar to the chassis, the rear hoops, the rear stays, all that sort of stuff. Yep. Just to sort of up-spec it to the tech that we wanted to go to. Nice. I guess we'll get up in there and have a look underneath. Yeah, for sure. That's where all the new stuff is. That's where all the fun is. There's a lot of stuff going on under here at the moment. So we've started turning this into street mode at the moment. So yeah, full exhaust is on. But yeah, under here, as you can see, the bottom of the fuel cell. It's Mood Motorsports chromoly housing. We're running Gazzard Brothers rear coilovers in this at the moment. Just billet shock mounts, one of MPW's 4-link designs. So that's full radial sort of setup. So Adam can do all of his adjustments and all that sort of lovely stuff. GJ Driveline's alloy tail shaft. We've also gone full floaters this time around, because again, I'm just don't want to stuff around, don't want to have any issues or problems. I thought you said this car was only going to run 8s. Yeah, it was, and it's done that. Yeah, right. So I've hit my goal. Yeah. Look, it is overkill. for what we originally wanted, but
I feel like this car's got a bit in it, Jason.
It has. Yeah,
I don't sound like a dick, but
there's a chance it might go faster. Yeah, look, it's got lots going on.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as you know, I've built a few cars and I do like to do it right the first time. And I'd rather build it once.
Yeah.
Even though I've built this one twice. Bugger.
No. But now, so I noticed, like, I saw some of the photos of this getting done. It's all new tubs, obviously, because they were never that big from factory.
No, it's basically a 3/4 chassis car now.
Yep.
So the driver's floor finishes pretty well here,
yep.
which is at the front of the front seats.
Yep.
So basically here to the top of the firewall is original steel. From this point backwards, it's all been removed and cut out. So your full new chassis, essentially. Enlarged tunnel, nice tubular frame to run seat mounts and all that sort of stuff. One of the chassis rail connectors here, or the one on the other side, is actually the breather lines.
Yep.
So that's just really nice. That comes from the rocker cover all the way up into the rear of the car. So if there is ever an issue, everything exits behind the rear tyre, so it just keeps it a little bit safer. All oval exhaust tube just to try to get everything up as high as we can. Because the car's low, we're trying to give as much ground clearance for street as possible. Racing doesn't matter.
There's only ever one ride height for Jason's cars, and it's like
low.
Yeah.
It's got to be low. That's where it's all at.
Yes, I am very much digging that exhaust. I did see it on the ground the other day. Adam's done a pretty
it's done a beautiful
job on that. Yeah. He obviously likes getting on the TIG, so
yeah, he loves that. He's very proud of his TIG work, and it's just solid. It's just nice, It's as you'd expect again.
Yeah, and you mentioned too, this is the new Car Builders TXT.
Yes. Yeah. It's a lovely product.
It's pretty solid stuff, isn't it?
It is very. Yeah. There's a couple of little spots of overspray on the body, and I couldn't get them off. Yeah. So I had to get some tungsten and take them off that way. That's all right. Yeah. That's how we learn. So, all speed flow throughout the car. So we've gone speed flow 500 series. Yep. So it's all the crimped lines front to back on everything. Same transmission that we had last time, just been rebuilt, and we've now got a billet bolt together converter through that one. Had a new sump done, just something with a little bit bigger capacity. Not that we had issues last time, but again, we were pushing it harder this time, so we just wanted some more capacity with some extra baffling in there. Guys at Shockworks to do a custom set of coilovers for us, just with some better valving than the Vikings that we had in there. There's a big under tray that bolts on here that you'll probably see in a minute.
And obviously I noticed, so you've got the other exhaust down there on the floor, so you've got the V-band up here.
So this is 5?
Yeah, it is 5,
That's 4.5, the horn's 4.5 inch.
Yeah, and then it just sort of pokes out behind the tyre.
So straight under here and then just out through there. At the end of the day, sort of after drag challenge, it'll just go into race mode. Until another drag challenge or whatever next time round. So it's a shame that this beautiful exhaust doesn't really get used, but... Yeah,
but you'll appreciate having that on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, trying to drive it with no exhaust, so...
It's pretty loud. It's a little bit fruity. It's nice. The guys have done a great job at MPW. Obviously Tuff mounts. Do you know Tuff mounts make his engine mounts?
Yeah, I know the guy that makes them. Yeah. And these are a custom set, obviously, for this car.
No, these are actually off the shelf.
These are part of your kit, the Foxbody? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all off the shelf, which is good.
Yep. Otherwise, like on the front here, this is new?
Yes, this is new.
Yep.
With the car and its old sort of guise, it was cool, but it always looked like a chinless dog. It just didn't look right. And again, now because we've gone big wheel and lower and all that sort of stuff, it just looked a bit odd. So the guys at Alpha Motorsports up in Queensland, they do this front spoiler that then we've modified. So the one that they do is very big and it's very low, and it's what you see normally.
To suit Foxbody?
Yeah, to suit a Foxbody. Yep. So I got one of theirs and then I've modified it drastically. So I've raised it up 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, so it suits the same height as the sill panels. So you've always got a constant line running through there. And then we've put the big vent in the front as well because they come blanked off. And I wanted, because of the road cage and all that, I wanted to feed the intercooler. So hence why there's there, just to feed the cooler with some fresh air and not waste anything. And then again, we've had a tray built underneath again, so we don't get any spill downwards or putting air under the car. Yep. It just guides it straight through the cooler and radiator and all that sort of gear. Yeah, just to make it nice and make everything work properly. So
the car now, it's sort of finished. You're just waiting on a couple of aesthetic things for the event, but you've driven it twice now. run me through the first time out and then last weekend.
Yeah, so we had a recent private test day, the Horner Performance Test Day, which was its shakedown.
Yep.
So Adam from MPW came over and he set the car up. So basically got shock settings, made sure the car went straight, put a little bit of power into it. He ran an 8.6 at 163 or something like that, and then threw me the keys and said, "It's your problem, go drive it." Him having already set the car up, which was really good, and then Shane Guthrie from IHRA came up and said, "Yeah, man, you need to get into it now. You've got a baseline. Go and give it a drive." So I gave it a drive, and look, I did terrible. I could happily admit. I think I ran a high 9, but at a good speed. But that was okay. But then obviously I'd had a taste, and I wanted to really get to drive it properly.
Yep.
So I did the following weekend street meet. So it's a non-prepped meeting. I wanted to do that sort of by myself, so I could learn the car. I'm forced to learn.
Yep.
So operate all the nitrous and the CO2s and just go through all the procedures, pack the chute and all that. So yeah, I had to do that, which was fun in itself. And then go out on a non-prep track in a rather fast car. It was interesting. But look, the car did well. I think I did okay. I didn't crash it, drove it back on the trailer. I think I ran an 8.7 at 165 mile an hour,
yep.
Which was good, my first 8. And it came really easy. The car was super easy to drive. Burnouts were a lot different. The whole car is completely different to the way it used to be. It doesn't react the same. It's a lot. Everything comes on quicker. I've got a pull chutes now. It's fun. But yeah, I was still happy with what we did, and it was still relatively low boost as well. It was only 24, 25 pound or something. So it was good. It's got a lot of potential.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, it's good.
Very
It's
cool.
going to be fun.
Very cool. Well, it's good to see. I mean, I have people watching this giving me saying, "Oh, well, his car's finished. Why isn't yours?" But I know you've put a lot of time and cash into this in a short amount of time to do Jason things. So it's good to see it's ready with plenty of time before Drag Challenge, which is
I'd love more time.
historically you're like finishing your cars like 4 minutes before Drag Challenge.
Correct. Or something goes wrong just before Drag Challenge.
Don't jinx yourself.
Don't jinx myself. Touch wood, please. No. Normally, we are always pushing it.
Yeah.
Because we are busy in the shop. It always, we'll get to that. But this time, we're ready. Obviously, it's the street Ks that I have to hit next, which is my next plan next week. Is a couple of weeks of street driving, put a trailer on it, and just get that part sorted.
Yep.
Which it really shouldn't be a drama. It's just getting it done. And then, converting it back to race, and then myself growing a pair and turning it up on Drag Challenge and seeing where we go.
Oh, I think the more you get used to it, the more you'll enjoy it. And
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, as long as you're smiling, and that's the important bit.
That's the whole reason we do it, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, you've got a bit more work to do, so I'll leave you to it. But Drag Challenge is only a few weeks away, so hopefully this video will be up well before then, and people can see the car and then actually check it out at Drag Challenge.
Yeah, that'd be good. It's
in
worthy.
action, and go up and get an autograph from the famous guy from Tuff Mounts with a beard. So, yeah.
We're not doing autograph signing sessions.
All right, thanks, man.
Easy. Always your pleasure. Have a lovely day.
He said it. Yeah.